first one together. It tells us that there are two types of worms. Worms that eat at night, we call them nocturnal, and worms that eat during the day, we call them diurnal. The birds eat during the day and seem to be only eating the diurnal worms. The nocturnal worms are in their burrows during this time. Each spring when the worms reproduce, they have about 500 babies, but only 100 of these 500 ever become old enough to reproduce. And so what we need to take a look at are our kind of key components. Is there overproduction of offspring? Are there limited resources? Is there that struggle for survival? And then the final step, which we'll talk about down here in letter D, is there descent with modification? Okay, so let's start at the beginning. Is there an overproduction of offspring? Are they making more babies than can survive?
Yes.
How many babies do they make? 500. How many survive? 100. 100 is not 500, so yes, we have overproduced. Okay, so our explanation of that is that only 100 of the 500 babies survive. Are you with us? Letter B asks, is there variation in the population? Are there differences between individuals in this worm population? Yes, what is that difference? There are some worms that are nocturnal, that eat at night, and there are some that are diurnal. And in the passage it tells us that those are the ones that eat during the day. Diurnal is that they eat during the day. It tells you up in the passage. Day eating, maybe? I think it's diurnal. It's the opposite of nocturnal.
Yeah, but if it's nocturnal, the ones that eat at night, like, what is the other?
The ones that eat during the day. All right, then according to this, which worm is being selected against? Which one is having a harder time in survival?
Diurnal.
The diurnal. Why is that? Well, the diurnal ones eat during the day.
Because the birds are also diurnal.
Their predator is also diurnal. And so their predator is out during the day, it's eating up the worms, okay? Which one is being selected for? Which one is benefiting in this environment? The nocturnal. And why are they benefiting?
Because they don't have predators.
The predators are not around while they're out and eating. And so they're going to survive better than the diurnal. Okay, now our final step, and this kind of wording is new to you. What we mean by descent here is what comes next? What are the populations to follow? Okay, so I have 3 children, Ava, Jackson, or Sid, and they are my descendants, right? They have descended from my husband and I. Your ancestors go back in to history. Descendants come forth. And so what we're asking here is, what will the descendants of this worm population look like? What will their kids and future generations look like? And will those kids have modifications? Will the population overall change? Okay, I'm seeing lots of heads shaking, and yes. Okay, so I agree with you. Yes, there will be descent with modification here. Why?
Because in the end, the birds are gonna eat all the diurnal worms, so there's gonna be only like nocturnal worms.
The birds are going to continually be eating those diurnal worms, who are going to be less likely to survive and reproduce, producing less diurnal. So over time, we should see an increase in the nocturnal worms. Could it go so far that all the diurnal die out,
Yeah.
and all we're left with is nocturnal worms?
Yes.
Possibly. Okay, so we would see the population would shift to greater numbers of nocturnal worms maybe diurnal dying out completely. So you're gonna follow the same process. There are 3 or 4 other passages. One that deals with polar bears, one that deals with ostriches, and one more that deals with rabbits. And then there's a final question where you're going to align the ideas and statements with either Lamarck or Darwin based on what I think is what Ryan and Bob think. Okay, this is gonna be due tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
Yeah.